Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the review of Okitsura Fell in Love with the Okinawan Girl, episode 10. Now, I just finished episode 10 of this show, and, you know, I really don't know what to say. I don't know where to begin. I feel like the Okinawan anime, with Higa, relationship to Nakamura, Nakamura feelings to Hina, all these things, in line with the whole confession. Like, look, we are in episode 10. We're on the verge of the ending of this show with its shenanigans, with its gimmicks, and all those little Okinawan culture ideas. The romance of Higa Nakamura is getting there. And while I support that ship, it's funny because how do I put this guy in another? How do I put Nakamura in a nutshell? Finally, it happened. Now, I kind of feel bad for this episode because, again, this is the summertime, and then the next episode we're gonna be in the autumn. So now we're gonna experience autumn in Okinawa. Like, I don't know how they do it in Okinawan culture in the fall. Which fall season, by the way, is my second favorite season. So I can't wait to see where this goes. But again, we're on episode 10, where we got to finish off this rom-com vibe with the test of courage, where they pair two people up and they go inside and they go walk into the forest with a flashlight and just scaring people, just to get that open mind or confessions or whatever it may be, whatever it may be. Did we get that? Well, you'll see. So without further ado, let's get right to the review of episode 10. Okay, so now, the test of courage. Before that, I said last week that Nakamura better do something or Higa better do something. He better do something. Because I got this gut feeling that something's going to happen. So when they had the numbers, I hope that Nakamura did not switch the numbers. Like, here, take my number, or Higa take my number, anything like that. No. They stood it down. They paired him and him and Higa up. Now, I was walking, we understand more about it, the culture of animals. The animal culture, like a gecko. There's different geckos here. There's the Geico gecko, there's the different geckos, there's all those other geckos we see in the world. And in Okinawa, the geckos, I have that kind of this kind of tone thing, that you can hear. It sound like a loud ass cricket. But again, there's different geckos all over the world. But that was an important one. The important was Higa and Nakamura. So we got to see Higa and Nakamura expressing them through screaming, seeing all these weird antics in the forest, mud-like creatures, a pig creature, all that stuff. But then when they got to that point where Higa is all scared, finally scared, Nakamura, this dude right here, Naka freaking Mora, finally did it. He made a move on Higa. And how he did it? Holding Higa's hand and run off into the woods with her. That's what I want him to do. That is as close as he's going to get to her. Because you go back to everything Higa has done. If you guys notice, Higa has done everything in every episode, getting closer to Nakamura. Sitting next to him, holding his arm last week, watching baseball, getting real close to her lips and learning how to whistle. Those, sorry. And, matter of fact, there was the typhoon moment when they got closer together. Every moment that these two get closer and closer, even though Higa is always making moves and Nakamura hasn't, we question Nakamura, like, when is he going to make a move? When is he going to make a move to get closer to Higa or make a move to grab Higa at any given moment? And we did. He grabbed Higa's hand. He grabbed her hand and run with her. It's like you grabbing your girl's hand and run off into the sunset. It's like that. So, and you can see Higa's reaction. She felt like he's holding my hand. Because all the time I grabbing him, now she's grabbing him. Now, it was a good moment. I mean, Would I want more? Yes. I wanted more than just holding hands. In fact, I wanted them, at least one of them, to confess, or one of them will be like he got confessing to Nakamura, I love you, or Nakamura really confessing to one of a rom-com plot twist when saying, I love Hina. Anything like that to make a huge plot twist involved to make us say, oh my God, that's a twist. But we didn't get that. We didn't get that. Disappointing as the test of courage is, we didn't get that. It was just a group of friends trying to scare them off and leave it. But Higa's best friend, wing woman from last week, trying to get them close together by scaring them, all that stuff, even though it paid off. But Higa, last minute of feeling the moment of holding Nakamura's hand. You know, it's funny. I find it funny because you could think of it as a good and positive, or one of those perverted ways. You could say she ain't never washing his hand, or she could do something with his hand. Either way, the pulse of her hand, feeling that pressure when she left Nakamura's hand, was great. Now, on to the test of courage to riding a bike. You know, Nakamura don't have a lot of transportation. They don't even have bikes. And the other thing I learned about Nakamura is the streets. Like, we have cemented streets. They use salt, kind of like salt material on these rocky road places. That's why the road is so steady with them. As the road in America, the roads got made of cement. So it's kind of like, oh, that's why. And they never rode a bike before. You know, they don't have a lot of bikes. They don't even have bikes. Not one person in the world have bikes in Okinawa. You gotta drive. You gotta drive. And if you gotta walk, you gotta walk. If it's a 10-mile radius, you gotta walk. They don't even have bikes. To like where a bike lane is, you could ride your bike. They don't have a lot. And, you know, Hina and Higa never had a bike of their own. You know, it's their first time trying it. But, I mean, they experienced a bike. This is one of those times. So, I guess now they realize, I need a bike. But I get why we don't need bikes. Like, I don't even own a bike of my own. But I can see why people have bikes. People have bikes so that when they have to go somewhere, you could pedal, you could lose your weight. You lose weight when you're cycling and build up your leg muscles, you know. But here's my thing when it comes to bikes. I can't stand people with bikes holding up transportation. Like, when you get on a train, and this happens a lot. When I get on a train, I see these people with their bikes and on the train with it. And I'm like, dude, you have a freaking bike. What's the point? Like, I get it. You have to take it somewhere so you can pedal your ass. I get it. But come on, guys. Bikes are made to pedal from one place to another, not use that transportation unless you're dumbass lazy and not want to pedal all the way from point A to point B if you're that lazy. But still, bikes kind of hold up space. And you got to pay chains. You got to pay parts for your bike. You got to pay for your helmets, your pads. You got to pay. I mean, that's what we have rental bikes for. Why do you think Citibank got those little bikes? But after hearing from them, I can see why bikes I would not buy. I kind of see that. I do see that. I do. Now, here's the last segment that got me rolling. First of all, Nakamura has been lonely. You know, he moved from Tokyo to Okinawa. No Google search whatsoever. No Google Translate. He missed all his friends there and family, which I really hope they do some kind of voice chat on the phone so we can see his parents. I'm actually curious, and his friends, so we can see his friends with him, Tokyo and Okinawa friends. Let's just see that. I want to see that. So, he's felt lonely. So Higa was, I want tongue tied on that part. They both wanted to take Nakamura to the beach. And when you feel alone, it's one of those things where they troll me in this part. You feel that emotion, that sad thing going on where, like, if you're lonely, you go to the beach and embrace it, you know, brave that sun. But then it's just like everybody is gathered here because they're bored. Everyone's here because they're bored. It's like, so let me get this straight. If you're bored, you go to the beach. That's the thing. In Okinawa, if you're that bored, you go to the beach. That's why everybody was gathered in the beach. Everyone just sitting like, if you're bored, that's just boredom. The beach is the symbolism of boredom. So if you ever feel lonely, and if you're so effing bored, the lesson here, if you're so bored, just go to the beach. But I like how it ended from like peace to like, in like in a heartbeat in that segment. But overall, though, this was a good episode. I'm not gonna say it was bad. It was good. I mean, we got to see some move that Nakamura did to Higa by holding her hand, and I hope that we get more of that. Well, I really hope so, because we're going to the fall now, and I feel like this was rushed. I feel like this summer thing in this episode, this whole entire summer was kind of a rush. I wish it would have had more summer moments, but now we're in the fall. And again, I wish it had some more of a summer fest vibe. But now that we're going to autumn next week, let's see where this goes. So I look forward for next week's episode of it, and I'm sure you will.